All right, it is the game, the War of 1894. I can't think of anybody better to talk to about his experiences playing, coaching, and everything else in between. We bring in my guy, Antonio Hall, Q92 Sports. Antonio, happy McKinley Maslin Day. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I look forward to this game every year. I've looked forward to this game every year since my first game as an 8-year-old back in 1979. I know you weren't around. Don't say anything. This is this is the pinnacle of high school football in the United States of America. You coached it, you played in it, you've gotten ready for it, you've talked about it, you've done everything with it. Just in a capsule, in a nutshell, Antonio, for somebody that has never heard McKinley Maslin, Bulldogs, Tigers, what's the first couple of sentences that come out of your mouth?
They never heard of it. I asked them, are they from Mars or China maybe? But yeah, I mean, if you grew up in the United States and you follow football, you have to know about the rivalry of McKinley Maslin. You have to.
What was your first McKinley Maslin game like? I'm talking jitters during the week, jitters when you got up in the morning, in the huddle before you were ready to come out onto the field, whether it was Paul Brown or Fawcett. What was that like for a player? Take me inside the helmet there if you could.
For me, it was a great deal of appreciation and maybe a little overwhelmed because I had family members, friends who grew up on both sides of the rivalry. I mean, I remember being at the 100th game, and
Mm-hmm.
I was cheering for Maslin because my cousin was the starting middle linebacker, and he was everything to me. I mean, he was my older brother, he was my mentor, my role model, and then but to grow up a Bulldog, and then to actually be able to wear that McKinley across your chest in the biggest game in the United States, in the biggest rivalry in the history of high school football. It's just a great deal of appreciation and emotion that you go through before you run out on that field.
Antonio Hall is our guest, Q92 Sports. We're getting you ready for the game. Kent McKinley and Maslin. It's coming up this afternoon, 2:00, and you can catch it right here on Q92 Radio, Q92Radiosports.com, and all of our social media platforms as we do it up here from the Good Iron Gastro Pub here at the Hall of Fame Village. I'll tell you what, as having a father who played at McKinley, who graduated from McKinley, he played in 3 Maslin McKinley games. He played for the legendary Bupper Rarick, and he had teammates, and I would hear stories, and I was like, oh. And then as I kind of grew into the rivalry as a young fella, we're talking 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. I remember those times coming down Tusk, and you couldn't even get into the businesses because they were blocked off with cars and people getting horns honked and throwing balloons and I was like, what in the world? But I'm telling you what, man, there was nothing like it. Now, that was at
That's
the
it.
Euphoria.
Right.
McKinley has lost 9 in a row in this series. Some would say that is almost unfathomable, but
Right.
it has happened.
Right.
Antonio, why do you think that is, and what makes that change today? How does the tide get turned in favor of Canton McKinley for the first time in 10 years?
Well, first off, I really got to commend Coach Renzi Parnell in his first year as a head coach and as the head coach of McKinley. Just what he's been able to accomplish thus far this season is remarkable, and to see the boys' mindsets this week in the hallways and talking to them, you could just see that they're laser focused. Coach Renzi. He brings a lot of experience. Has been a part of several state championship runs with Hoban. He's had one of the top defenses in the state when he was a D coordinator. And this year, McKinley's defense, they look lights out. I think the difference this year is going to be that, one, I think the experience on both sides, on both sidelines, are pretty even, but also the fact that now McKinley's open enrollment and Mass has been open enrollment for a long time. So now we're able, talent-wise, to start to match them toe for toe, because we do have the ability to have athletes come in from the surrounding areas and add to our tradition.
Antonio Hall is our guest, Q92 Sports. We're getting ready for the Bulldogs and the Tigers this afternoon, 2 o'clock right here on Q92. Antonio, during the week, I know the coaches were always like, oh my gosh, okay, I got to go to a luncheon, I got to go to a breakfast, I got to go to a dinner, I got to rally, I got a bonfire, I got a parade.
Terrible.
How did the players maneuver through all that stuff? And oh, by the way, go to class, get your work done, get a lift in, practice, get prepared. How did you get all that handled, especially at that age? That could not have been easy.
It's not, and you really have to be on the forefront of that, and really challenge your team to focus on the main thing. Pep rallies, spirit weeks, bonfires, all that's for the fans. You know, your deal in this is what happens on Saturday. And my challenge was always, okay, our celebrations come Saturday. You know, everyone else celebrates throughout the week, the pageantry, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And the communities really do a great job supporting both programs. But in reality, our deal in this is what happens on the field on Saturday at 2 o'clock. And so keep the main thing, and let's do our job in this. And I think the team that does that the best throughout the week tends to win the game on Saturday.
Antonio, with you being on the right side of that rivalry more times than not, what is it like to be a Canton McKinley Bulldog, to play in that game and to win that game? What does that mean for you as a person, your family, people in the McKinley program? What does that mean a year later, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years later? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's something that never goes away, because every week 10, every season, all those memories come storming back. You're talking to your teammates. You're talking to the guys that you played against on the other side. And that's another great thing about this rivalry too, is that when you're in it, you know, there's hatred, there's detest, there's loathing. But once you get out of it, there's just so much appreciation, admiration, respect for the other side, because you know what they went through, because you was going through it too, just on the other sideline. And so, you know, to be able to talk to the guys that you went to war against and to reminisce, whether you won or lost, that's something special about this rivalry too. And I think people don't fully appreciate that, the relationships that come out of this game with the guys on the other side.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And the respect, to me, that word should be in all capital letters, because, and I've always said this, and I'm sure you would agree, there is no Massillon without McKinley, and there's no McKinley without Massillon, right?
Period. I couldn't have said it better myself, my friend. And to have relationships with guys like Willie Spencer and Sean Crable and Ellery Moore and Rocky Dorsey and Chris Smith. I mean, all these guys who I couldn't stand. I mean, hated.
Right.
Hated for 4 years, right? But now to embrace them as brothers and look back and talk trash on social media back and forth leading up to the game. I mean, that's one of the beautiful things that make this rivalry special.
It is indeed that. Antonio, I could go days talking Massillon and McKinney with you. We got to wrap up. We've got lots of stuff going on here today at the Village, at the Gridiron Gastro Pub. I've loved talking ball with you. You know that. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the game. I know who you are pulling for, and we'll get back together here down a couple of days, and we'll revisit, and we'll look ahead. How's that?
The bell's coming home today, baby. Go Pups.
There he is, Antonio Hall from Q92 Sports. We'll continue here live at the Gridiron Gastro Pub at the Hall of Fame Village on Q92.